So for people who don't know, man, give me a little bit of your background because I think a lot of people know you as like a Philly rapper, even though you're not necessarily from Philly.
You know. Yeah. Definitely. I'm from Mass. If you watch some of my other interviews and shit, it goes real into like, I left Mass, part of my criminal life that I had when I was younger. And I ended up in Philly, and that's when, I went to prison for a while. When I came home, that's when, I started to push the music. And here we are.
How long were you in prison?
Like 5.5.
That's a serious bid, man.
Some would say.
Being a so obviously there's like politics are different in all prisons everywhere. California, I believe.
I heard it's definitely different out here. It's like
yeah, I think like the Peckerwoods and the Southsiders are together, and then I think blacks and the others. And what is like when you were locked up? Because you obviously are a hip hop artist, you got flavor. Like, do the whites stay with the whites in prison where you were at? Like, how was like your prison experience, man?
I remember when I was the first prison I was in was Boston. I've been in like 6 joints. The first joint I was in was Massachusetts, was Worcester House. He was just saying, and in Worcester House, I remember I was 17 getting tried as an adult, so I really didn't have no business being in there. They figured they'd keep me for the last 2 months till I turned 18. So they put me in, I was in population, but I was so young and so scrawny that nobody bothered me at all. They I looked like
you're a kid.
They were like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I remember showing my papers to people and being like, "No, look, I'm 17." And people would be like, "Yo, CO, what the fuck? Like, yo, you need anything here, man?" Because
they were like looking out for you.
It was like that. That's how it was in Worcester House where I landed at that time. It wasn't, whoever had it under control, it was under control. It was all right. But I remember two Irish kids came to my cell, older guys, and they were like, "Hey, bud, you got your paperwork?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" You know what I mean? They're like, "All the paperwork from you getting arrested and shit." So I was like, "Yeah." They said, "Look, if you if you got any problems or anything, you come see us. You know what I'm saying? If like a black dude or a Puerto Rican dude, or you go at it with one of them, you don't go at it with them. You just come see us and we'll go." And I wasn't having problems with no one. So I was like, all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like looking at them like, the fuck?
Yeah.
They were like, "Yeah, you're good." Looked at my paperwork and left. So I seen like that there was some type of order, but, I didn't really, I had so much other shit going on. I couldn't really focus on it. But like, and then I remember like hitting the Delaware prison, like the joints I was in Delaware, like you weren't allowed to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't sleep. I seen some crazy shit down there in Delaware. It's nasty down there. You could do your time in the prison, or if you're short time, you can choose to go across the parking lot to the VOP center, which is a punishment camp. So
you'd be in there like boot camp type shit?
Oh, yo, my man, they wake you up 4 a.m., 5 a.m. just reading last names. Put your boots on. Put your boots on.
So that would like excel your sentence, so you'd get out sooner?
Yeah, it would be like if you do a program in the VOP center, it might be like 6 months less than your 2 years or something. So it was worth it, but you weren't allowed to sleep.
Did you do that? You did the VOP?
Yeah, but I had to do VOP because I left Massachusetts on the run, and I went to Delaware, and I remember I served the undercover cop, and Massachusetts wouldn't come get me, so Delaware put me on probation, and probation gets me, and they're like, all right, you're 19, you never finished high school, go back to high school. So they put me in the high school up the street from the house that I was trapping out of. I had my own house, so I was going to school during the day to appease probation.
So you were on probation, trapping out of your own crib at 19.
And then Friday nights, I had to report to the VOP center and go to prison from Friday to Sunday. And I get out Sunday night and go back to school Monday morning. So every weekend they put me on a different pod because they wouldn't want me to go back to the same pod and bring a pack,
right.
Bring a bomb in, right? So people would be dying trying to get me to bring a bomb in. Like everybody be trying, yo, you're a weekender, because they had to stay. They were all doing.
So for people who don't know what a bomb is, that's like
sneaking
some drugs.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
That would be something you put up your ass.
No, I don't know about that.
I mean, I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's how some cats might do it. Like
I don't know.
When you're coming in from the streets, you know what I'm saying? I almost got hemmed up in a situation down there one time because of that.
Because you had some money?
Me and a bunch of weekenders were all in the cell, and they put us all in the cell together. They had us all stripping. They're like, everybody take your shirts off. And I remember I don't know what happened, but I heard something hit the ground like tap.
It wasn't you?
It might have been.
Okay.
But I looked down, and there was a bag and shit. And I was like, and I'm looking, and like no one sees it. Everyone's still getting undressed and shit. So I kind of step on it and do the swipe.
Wow.
No one notices it. And then when they're cleaning it out, they're like, yo, hold on, what is that? And all the other weekenders start ratting on me right away. They're like, this fucking young prick. Because they're all,
Yeah.
like, they had it with me. I'm going in there smelling like straight gas, taking it as a
Living the life.
Yeah, like, look at this fucking high school. I'm like a 19-year-old junior in high school.
Jesus. It's like Billy Madison.
Yeah, it was.
But the trapper.
It was something crazy. So like I kept getting raided, and there was nothing to do down there, you know what I'm saying? So I was hunted down there in Delaware,